right, at this point, our course is essentially written. How do I know this? Well, I designed my course in my syllabus inside Google Docs, right here. I organized my thinking by week in my Google Drive. I organized everything in folders. And so here's where the bulk of my work was spent, was creating the Google Slides for week 3, or deciding what would the forum discussion be for week 2. And all of this work was largely done, was done in Google Drive. And so really, the work in eLearn is just linking to those PDFs or whatever is in your Google Drive, or grabbing and copying and pasting, let's say, the prompt and pasting it into your eLearn activity or resource, whatever it is. All right. So for the most part, I am now done. But in this video, we're going to talk about putting your finishing touches in your course, onto your course. Because every week, look at this, every week we're following essentially the same kind of flow. We begin with Google Slides for the course. This is what I'm going to lecture with. During our Zoom session, our lecture time, we're going to do some sort of class activity. Then the students are going to be doing some reading with some accountability using the lesson tool as our accountability piece. They might watch a video using H5P or some other accountability piece. And to wrap up that week, we're going to do some sort of forum discussion to encourage dialogue amongst my students. And every week is following that same flow. So now what I want to do though is I want to make sure that my weeks are in the proper order that I want them to be in. For example, this first week was all about llamas. So one of the things I noticed, first off, I'm going to make sure I name these sections properly, because I've got topic TBD still, but I remember because my syllabus says so. So I'm going to pull this over and I'm going to make it easy for me to follow. There it is. And let's get back over here. So now I can see both my eLearn and my syllabus. And I can see that, oh, week 1 was all about llamas. So I need to make sure I name that to be all about llamas. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click the pencil and I'm going to change llamas. And hit return, or you got to remember to hit enter, otherwise it won't save the name. And then as I scroll down, I can see that week 2 was supposed to be about chickens. So I'm going to say, all right, week 2 is about chickens. And I am just, chickens. And I'm going to speed up the video so that you can see me finishing naming each of these weeks. Now, at this point, let's say I get to week 7 and week 8. And I see that week 7 was goats and week 8 was sheep. But really, I'm starting to think I want to change that order. I want to make week 7, which originally was supposed to be goats, right? This is my goats section, but I want to make that week 8. So what am I going to do? Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name it, make sure I name it goats. But I want to switch these 2 topics. So I'm going to zoom out so that you can see what's going to happen here. And I'm going to switch these 2 topics. Notice this grab tool right here. That grab tool allows me to change the order of anything I want. For example, if I wanted to change just the order of an activity, I click on it and I drag it around and I can change the order. All right, so let me fix that because that just offends my sensibilities. Okay, so then, but if I want to change the entire week, all I have to do is grab one of the weeks and just rearrange it. And all of the internal activities are going to be will go along with that section. For example, if I want to move section 8 up here, or week 8, right there, look at that. Now goats is no longer week 7. I have to click that and change goats. Look at that, goats to week 8. Which means week 7 is no longer going, let's see, where am I? Oh, here. That's no longer going to be goats. It's going to be sheep. So I'm going to say, oh, okay, I got to fix this. So now sheep is week 7. All right. So all of my activities. Now, what am I going to have to do? Because look at this. It says week 8, week 8. It's no longer week 8. It's week 7. So all I have to do is click that pencil, change the 8 to a 7. Click the pencil, change the 8 to a 7. Is that annoying? Absolutely it's annoying, but it's okay. That's part of lesson design. So now I have the e-learn in the order that I want to. But look at this. My syllabus in Google Doc is now out of order because week 7 is sheep now. So all I have to do is I just have to kind of make sure I edit my Google Doc so that it matches the actual order that I want. So week 7 is now sheep, and then the goats are now week 8. Now, oopsies, week 8. So now look at that. My e-learn is matching again my syllabus over here in the Google Docs. But I'm not quite done because remember, I have everything organized nicely right here. So week 7 used to be all about goats, but week 7, I'm changing it, is now supposed to be about sheep. So this week 7 is now supposed to be week 8. Week 8, and it's goats. And then that week 8, the original week 8 is now week 7. So I'm going to rename and call that week 7. And that's the sheep. So I swapped the sheep and the goats. Look at that. See, now over here on the right side, week 8 is goats. And it says so here in my Google Drive. Week 7 is sheep. And it says so over here on my Google Drive. In fact, I might as well rename everything here because now everything is looking like it's in the right order. So I'm going to rename all of my folders to match my syllabus. Makes it easier for me to organize my thinking, and I'm going to speed the video along. All right, and so now I've got my syllabus over here on the right, matches my Google Drive right here on the left, which also matches my e-learn. So everything is lined up, making my life super easy to run this course because I want to make this user-friendly for me as well as user-friendly for the students. So I have named all the sections. I've put them in the right order. And now what I need to do now is take care of the grading problem. So the grading problem, what do I mean by the grading problem? So when I click on course management, if I want to look at my gradebook, all right, all of these activities that are showing up here are showing up in the order that I actually created the events, they're not showing up in the actual weeks that I want them to show up in. Look at that. So that's kind of a pain in the rear. I want all the week 1 things put together and all the week 2 things put together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on Set Gradebook Setup. And then you'll notice here's all the activities, everything that's being graded in this course. The problem is they're not really organized chronologically. They're organized in the order that I inserted the activities themselves. Okay, so what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to go into my course, and now everything in week 1 I'm going to label with the preface week 1, the prefix week 1. So I'm going to just name all these. So all I have to do is click the pencil and change it as to week 1. And I'm going to do that for my entire course. Is this a pain in the butt? Absolutely. But this is going to make your life super easy. So as I do this, I'm going to speed up the video. But you'll see that everything in a given week will begin with that idea of week 1, right there. And that's going to make it easier for me to organize my gradebook later. So I'm going to speed up the video and let you watch me rename everything. All right, and so now at this point, you can see I've got my entire course, all my activities named with that prefix of the given week. Now, why did I do that? Because when I scroll all the way up to the top and I click the gears and I'm going to gradebook setup, I'm going to edit or change the way my gradebook is set up. Look at this. So now I have all of these things named with the proper prefix. So I know that this goes way up at the top. So all I have to do is click that button and say, I want it to go way up here at the top. And then look at that, I just did that. And so I'm just going to put everything in the order that I want it to show up in. And so I'm going to speed up the video so that you see that happen. All right, in case you weren't seeing what you're supposed to be doing, in order to move a gradebook item, you just click on this arrow thing right here. And when you click on it, it gives you all these spaces and where do you want it to go. And so you just click on the available space of where you want it to go. In this case, I want it to go there. And let's do one last one. I think we have just one last one. Yeah, week 7. I need to move the week 7 discussion. So I click that and I scroll to find the blank space where that should go. It's going to be right here. Click there. And I now have my gradebook in the proper order. All of week 1, followed by all of week 2, followed by 3, 4, 5. So everything is in exactly the order to make my gradebook super easy. I got to make sure I hit save changes so I don't forget or don't lose all my hard work in terms of changing the order. And there I go. And so that, it means I am now totally ready for, technically, I'm done with the class. I'm going to show you some extra videos of how to spruce this up, because right now it's a little on the boring side. How do we continue making it a little bit easier for the students? But this is largely the course. The next video is we're going to finish off week 0. And what is week 0 all about? Now that everything is in the proper order, it also shows up in the gradebook in the same order, makes life easy.